Hello, Dustin. First, thank you for the opportunity to start a conversation with the supply chain expert community around a topic about which I am passionate. I have been a management consultant for 15 plus years with a primary technology and in various verticals. I deliver project management, program management, business transformation, and business development solutions to mid-market and Fortune 500 companies. I am the principal management consultant and chief listening officer at Triumvirate Consulting Group, a business that I started in 2009 to deliver management consulting as well as professional development programs. I am also honored to be an at-large board member with the Wisconsin Veterans Foundation. I'm excited to talk with you today about cultural change as it relates to cross-cultural leadership and operational excellence. I'd like to take a sharpened focus on project managers and how I view the transformation of that role as leader in the newly globalized market. Second question, how is cultural change related to leadership? Perhaps the simplest way to explain how cultural change relates to leadership is to share a statement from the Best of the Best report 2003. The report states that inspired cultures drive prosperity, inspired leaders drive inspired cultures. Yet the volume of articles written recently about leadership, and more specifically about the lack of leadership as a global problem, lends itself to critical challenges that corporations and mid-market cultures are feeling every day. Challenges such as the inability to innovate, lack of agility, too slow to market with products and services, as well as challenges with hiring and retaining the right talent at the right time. Historically, culture has been considered a soft measure, and I feel not enough attention and value given to how culture affects the bottom line. It's easy to understand why culture has not been given that weight because it's difficult to measure and to quantify the value of employee focus in your company's culture. Yet employee attention, engagement, and focus are, in my opinion, the most valuable commodity that a business has in terms of culture. Inspired leaders at all levels of an organization must create the desire for these assets within the culture and design an organizational strategy that sustains cultural change. Question number 3, can you talk about operational excellence in terms of cultural change and leadership? Cross-cultural leadership has been defined as having two components, organizational leadership and culture. In order to move the needle and reach its strategic and operational goals, leaders need to be passionate about affecting cultural change. Dustin, I'd like to digress briefly to discuss my experience and observations regarding the newly globalized market and the globalized supply chain. I've spent significant time during the past year considering this shift in terms of project management. I believe one role that will continue to transform and evolve in the new normal is the role of project manager. I'm bringing this forward today because I feel that those who have been traditional project management practitioners for 10 plus years, and especially those in the field of information technology, are experiencing a real paradigm shift as projects today look more like products and services often delivered via incremental activities and pushed through a global supply chain. With the evolution of the newly globalized market, the traditional project manager role seems to be transforming to supply chain manager or another role within the supply chain. Project management as a discipline concerns itself primarily with managing the triple constraint, time, cost, and scope. Supply chain management draws heavily on operations management, logistics, procurement, and information technology to strive for an integrated approach. As leaders, project managers must start viewing challenges and finding solutions for business problems by looking at them through the lens of supply chain management. This is a systemic change and a shift in the mental model for most traditional project managers. However, if systems thinking is not applied, my observations are that the project manager attempts to solve supply chain management problems by applying project management ideas and disciplines. In the global market, those solutions can be ineffective. Further, the business's ability to be agile and to innovate quickly is negatively impacted. I will take my thoughts one leap further to suggest that given the speed of innovations and with integration deepening as machines are connecting to each other, supply chain management will also experience a transformation. Today we are about midpoint on the technology roadmap for the Internet of Things. Big data and predictive analytics are in their infancy. So much so that universities are challenged with finding instructors qualified to teach big data, and organizations are hard-pressed to find technology professionals who can model and develop for big data. In India, developers are investing in educating themselves to get in front of the demand for these skills. I'm curious about how the Internet of Things and big data has and will alter supply chain management. In terms of operational excellence, I believe that leaders need to be passionate about asking these types of questions and developing a culture that is also focused on asking the questions and passionate about designing and developing new innovations ahead of market demand. And the final question, what are your recommendations? It's important to remember that leaders exist at all levels of an organization, and identifying those leaders and investing in their ability to affect change is key to driving cultural change and operational excellence. To thrive in the newly globalized marketplace, now more than ever, business needs to invest in culture to drive operational excellence and generate revenue. I follow Richard Branson as an influencer. He is, in my opinion, the model for leadership when it comes to understanding the value of investing in culture. In addition to living and breathing the culture, he has the 3 key core competencies of leadership identified by Susan Marshall in her book, How to Grow a Backbone, 10 Strategies for Gaining Power and Influence at Work. These competencies are competence, confidence, and risk-taking. I definitely recommend Susan's book. I can give you a few scenarios to describe what these leadership competencies look like in a culture. In a culture that develops leaders and followers to be competent, confident risk-takers, leadership places a value on always learning from challenges and opportunities. They grow a culture with a tolerance for failing and failing fast. The culture cannot be conservative and slow to change. If it wants to innovate, it embraces a certain level of risk because it simply cannot be innovative and nimble if it is unwilling to take risks. Finally, it is a culture that is transparent and one in which leadership communicates often to engage and capture the very valuable commodities of focus and attention.